What's going on, guys? It's your boy John the Liquidator coming back with another video. So it looked like Shaquille O'Neal is not standing for Charles Barkley comments about Caitlin Clark earlier this season. Guys, for this one here, we got to go all the way up to Indy. Let's get it. Let's go. Now, we know Shaq has not really been a big advocate for Caitlin Clark. He's been Team Angel. Now, we know he went to LSU. She went to LSU. So that got to be playing a factor there. Now, we know Charles Barkley also made some comments earlier in the season about the WNBA women being petty towards Caitlin Clark, not giving her the proper acknowledgement, kind of being aggressive. Not giving her the proper acknowledgement, kind of being real aggressive with her defensively. And it looked like Shaq is finally breaking his silence about his homeboy, Charles Barkley, making those comments about Caitlin Clark and the WNBA women being petty. Being reported that calls Caitlin Clark the real deal, dismisses Barkley comments about pettiness. So he's definitely letting the world know Charles Barkley was not telling the truth about this lady being petty towards Caitlin Clark. And it's clear as day that they have been being petty towards Caitlin Clark ever since she got in the damn league. Now, the article from USA Today goes on to say Shaquille O'Neal is the first to praise Chicago Sky rookie Angel Reese and all her accomplishments. The Hall of Famer and former LSU great built a bond so close to Reese, she said he's like a father figure to her. Wow. But O'Neal, one of the greatest to play in the NBA, admitted something about the player many have deemed Reese number one rival, and that is Caitlin Clark. O'Neal said, Clark is the real deal. O'Neal also stated when he was back in Chicago on August 30th to watch Reese Sky take on Clark Fever in the team's final meeting of the 2024 season. Reese debuted Reebok's newest basketball shoe, and O'Neal came to cheer her on. The Fever ran Chicago out of the building. Came and ran Chicago out of the building, dog. Winning 100-81 behind a career-high 31 points from Caitlin Clark, who also dished 12 assists. Reese, meanwhile, had 10 points and 11 rebounds. O'Neal walked around, and he was very impressed with what Caitlin Clark had done, bruh. And he had this to say. When I see stuff on TV, I'm like, okay, I like to see it in person. When I see it in person, O'Neal said of Caitlin Clark, she could play. From a basketball standpoint, she makes all the right plays, gets everybody involved, and she has that Steph Curry shooting range, bruh. O'Neal went on record and also stated that the 2024 Rookie of the Year will likely come down to Reese and Caitlin Clark after beating the Sky in 3 of the 4 matchups and securing a playoff spot a couple weeks ago. Most believe Caitlin Clark will win in a landslide, and I believe she's definitely going to win in a landslide, man. There's no question about it, bruh. Now, Shaquille O'Neal also went on to state that O'Neal anticipates the Clark versus Reese talk won't die anytime soon. And he went on to say, what makes it good for the game is that it'll be those two forever, he said. You can make a little game of it. In college, Angels up on because of winning a national championship. Now you can say, okay, Caitlin Clark's in the playoffs. Is Angel going to make the playoffs? Little games that you can play that can keep their names going. I'm happy for both of them. I'm happy for the women's sports. Do it look like Shaq? It's definitely happy for women's sports, bruh. But now we finna dive into what Charles Barkley had to say about everything, bruh. Now, the article goes on to say, ask about a recent comment from Charles Barkley, who called out the WNBA players back in May, saying they were being petty and jealous when it comes to Caitlin Clark. O'Neal offered a different perspective. Now, this is what Shaq said. There's envious jealousy, there's professional jealousy, O'Neal said. Sure, there's a lot of people who are professionally jealous. I am. I'm professionally jealous of a lot of people. I'm professionally jealous of Steph Curry. He makes like 60 million. But hey, that's life. So Shaq let it be known. You got to understand that we're not just going to give it to you. Everybody else is giving it to you, O'Neal stated. You still got to earn it. Chuck had to go through it. I had to go through it. So I'm pretty sure everybody else is going to have to go. Basically, Shaq saying that everybody got to deal with this stuff. It's part of being a professional, so on and so forth. Now, there is currently some stuff going viral on X in regards to the homegirl Angel Reese. Now we know Angel Reese has definitely been in the headlines, man, ever since this whole injury situation. And I'm telling you right now, she's still in hot water because a lot of people was not believing Angel Reese is like out for the season. Now, it is what it is, man. The sky opened up and said that she was. They released a statement saying that she was. So the way it's looking like she is. Well, that is until today. Rachel DeMonte thinks Angel Reese podcast calling out Fever fans make things worse. Now we know Angel Reese has been on record, bruh, calling out Indiana Fever fans, dog. Now, it is crazy that she is doing that, but it is what it is, man. Let's pull up what Rachel had to say earlier today. Roll the footage.
That villain role, and she said it herself. That's why I'm saying it here. If you guys remember this interview right here, here's where she said that she doesn't mind being the bad guy.
It all started from the national championship game, and I've been dealing with this for 2 years now. And understanding, like, yeah, negative things have probably been said about me, but honestly, I'll take that because look where women's basketball is. People are talking about women's basketball, but you never would think that we'd be talking about women's basketball. People are pulling up to games. We got celebrities coming to games, sold out arenas, like just because of one single game. And just looking at that, like, I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role, and I'll continue to take that on and be that for my teammates. And if I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
So that interview was from about 3 months ago at the beginning of the season, where obviously a lot of people were anticipating this Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese rivalry that we saw in college, and a lot of people were looking forward to that in the WNBA. I'm going to preface all of this by saying the rivalry worked. The media hyping up these two players and acting like Angel Reese has been in the Rookie of the Year conversation, when in my personal opinion, that just isn't even fair to her to say when Caitlin ran away with this a few months ago. Having that rivalry worked when it comes to viewership, when it comes to engagement, when it comes to all of those things. However, seeing Angel Reese in the media throughout the past 3 months and how she has come out multiple times and said how she gets a lot of hate online, she gets bullied, different things are sent to her. A lot of these things are alluding to the fact, and she even said that in her farewell letter, that this is the first time that she will get a physical and mental break. I do think that some of this drama, and she started some of it, to be fair, got to her and probably took up more mental space and emotional space than it should have. And I'm only saying this because we've seen her continue to make little sly remarks, even though she says there's no bad blood between her and Caitlin. And also, not all of this is directed at Caitlin. She just likes to call out haters and clap back at haters and say different things. And my advice to her, from somebody who has been in this industry, maybe not the highest spotlight that she is at, but I have been in somewhat of this spotlight in the sports world, the more that you clap back, the more that you say things, whether you're right or not, whether you're defending yourself in the proper way or not, more is going to come back at you. The more that she says, like, hey, haters, like, it wasn't this, I'm this, it's just, it fuels those negative people to continue saying negative things about you. When she went on her podcast, in her first episode in her podcast, like, the title, I don't know if she changed it at this point because Caitlin Clark was also like in the thumbnail of her video.
Now, I do want to pause it right there because we all remember when that podcast dropped last week, I actually reported on her changing the thumbnail, putting Caitlin Clark out of the thumbnail. Actually put Caitlin Clark in the title. Broke the internet, bruh. Less than an hour later, Angel Reese PR team got to cooking. They went in, took Caitlin Clark out the thumbnail, took her out the title, and redid the whole damn thing. Let's get back to the footage, man. This is crazy.
Drama. And while in that podcast, she said that she respects Caitlin. She's sure that they'll play together. And I agree with her on all this. I'm not saying that she's lying about any of this, but when she then throws in, but Caitlin Clark fans do this, and this, just that little piece of information, just that little thing that you said is going to stir up more controversy and people coming back at you. I know this because I have also been a target where, like I've said, you guys, if you're not familiar with me or know my backstory, I've been working with the NBA, working in the sports world for over 10 years now. I hosted a show in NBA 2K. And with that, it's sports fans and video game fans, when those come together, that's a crazy fan base to have. Okay. So I have seen, and again, I'm not negating anything that Angel has seen, and she is at a bigger level of stardom than I have ever been. However, I have seen and heard it all. I have had fake photos created of me and circulated online. I have had to get private investigators involved into fans that were stalking and making really crazy threats and posting my address online. I have seen, heard it all. I've had interactions with fans that have been wildly uncomfortable in person, a lot of things. And I'm not saying also any of this for you guys to feel bad for me. It is what it is. It comes with the territory. However, I know that when it gets to a certain level, you have to ignore it more than you respond to it. There is always going to be.
Now, that was Rachel Dementi speaking about the Angel Reese situation. I want you guys to get down in the comment section right now. Let me know your thoughts about Shaq comments and her comments in regards to Angel possibly taking on a villain role, hurting her image, her kind of doing too much, man. Definitely keep them bells on, because you know what? I'm going to bring you the news. And until next time, dog, shake the haters off. I'm out of here, baby. Peace. Shake the haters.